imitate, assimilate, innovate. This trio of words, cherished by musicians and educators worldwide, encapsulates the guitarist's journey from student to artist. Our guitar heroes inspire and drive us to imitate their playing as accurately as possible. Assimilating their teachings, we construct a foundation of skills, techniques, and vocabulary. This groundwork rewards us with creative freedom to innovate, nurturing our unique sound and artistry. Join us this month as we celebrate guitar heroes and legends that have inspired and influenced many of our own TrueFire artists and educators. You just might discover a few new guitar heroes and legends to add to your own list. Let's dig in. Charlie Christian was a groundbreaking jazz guitarist who played a pivotal role in the development of the electric guitar as a solo instrument. His innovative improvisations and melodic lines helped shape the language of jazz guitar. Christian's contributions to jazz and his ability to seamlessly blend melody and improvisation made him a true legend. Today's free lesson on Charlie Christian is from Scott Sharrard's Guitar Heroes course. Let's dig in.
Charlie Christian is probably really the first rock guitar player in some ways. He was the first guy to sort of popularize the guitar as a single note line instrument with his work with Benny Goodman's group. And, it really, I always like to say, and it's kind of an interesting paradox. I always think of like the electric guitar starting with Charlie Christian and sort of, in a way, kind of ending with Jimi Hendrix in terms of all the things you can do with it, with a tube amplifier and a guitar and effects and all those things. I mean, then there's everything that happened in between, which was also spectacular. But Charlie kind of was the catalyst. And really it was about the fact that he was the first electric guitar player who was recorded who really had a tone. Charlie had a beautiful guitar tone. And it sounded like Lester Young's saxophone or Billie Holiday's voice. It had that warmth and depth and bite to it as well. Something that I think much later in jazz, in the history of jazz guitar, it started to turn, especially in the 70s, more of the traditional jazz guitar players started to have a darker sound. Charlie has a very bright sound, and it's quite beautiful and quite impactful. And the first time I heard it was, I was in high school and I was, like all of us, kind of digging through all these different influences and trying to get back to the sort of Rosetta Stone, trying to find out, where it all started and all these different genres and different types of players. And the first record I remember hearing of Charlie's was, it's kind of like this twisted minor blues tune called Six Appeal. And he just plays this really beautiful one-chorus solo that is one of the best examples I know of like using, triads to play, an F minor, and he was like, 2, 3. Something like that, but just the whole usage of the minor six and the triads and the use of the whole neck of the guitar. I mean, the guy was so way ahead of his time all around. And that's the whole solo, right? So, again, we have that lesson of like, okay, here you go. Here's 12 bars. Here's 16 bars. Here's 8 bars. And you play something like that. I mean, it's like a mini composition in the middle of another song. It's a perfect improvisation. One of my favorites. So that's an example of like, what his style was like. He was a pick player. He's reported. I haven't seen. I'm sure there's no film of him anywhere, but he was reported to play only with downstrokes. I don't know if that's true or not. I kind of find it hard to believe, but why not? He just really had a beautiful sound and is just such an important part of everything I do as an improviser. And I think, it's really important to go back and listen to him play and integrate what he's doing with what you're doing. I try to think of him as that Rosetta Stone every time I pick up the electric guitar, and really it comes down to being inspired by his combination of kind of the simplicity, but the complexity of harmony. And he never played over the bar line. Really, on the stuff I've heard, it's all very much in the pocket. It's just always funky, and it's something that whenever I improvise and try to go in different directions, no matter what kind of tone I'm using, or if it's more distorted, or if it's more of what we would call like a rock feel or a funk feel or something that's not swing, I frequently reset into that mentality that you get from Charlie Christian of just having that core feel. Even when you're playing something that's fast or complicated, having your time feel be right in the pocket at all times. So one thing that I can point out about Charlie, at least with the triads, is like I really love the way he would play over 9 chords and the way he would put 9 chords into his lines. So an example would be like on the C9, I just played a line for you guys. That's one way we would do it. So if you start with a 9, you slide up with that chromatic at the end. Another thing he would do is like, right? So that's pretty cool stuff. And you can skip strings like, get those little leading tones. It would sound like if you were playing a blues or something. So he had a really cool way of using chromatics, and you'll notice that he doesn't really play legato very often, especially for an electric guitar player. A lot of his stuff it's all plucked, like that lick. It's all very articulated. So that's something else to think about. You'll get some great pick technique out of integrating Charlie's style into what you do.